Thank you for talking to us at Horror Metal Sounds.
How you doing today, brother?
I'm really cool. Yourself?
Good, man. Thanks for taking the time to talk some metal and music with me, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, mate, it's all my privilege. I'm uh, I'm quite late to the INCITE game. Shame on me, because
It's
obviously
okay, man.
it's like, and then when I got this stuff and it was like, and I started listening to it, it was like, oh my god. And I know you say you're the mix between Machine Head and Lamb of God, two of my favorite bands. And do you know what? I don't think you're joking. I think you've got a really credible statement there. You've got everything. It's like, wow, you've got the riffs, you've got the groove, you've got the pipes. I
Oh
like your
yeah,
voice. You mix it up a bit so it's not boring. So there's like an
I appreciate
irresistible
that.
groove going on there. So when you put the band together in 2004, did you have all this in mind?
No, man. I mean, at the time we were just like 19 and real young, had never really done a real professional band, and just to show like how we had no idea, like none of those guys are even in the band anymore. But for the last 10 years, me, Lennon, and L, have been together and have created the last four records of INCITE. And we're what creates that groove now. Lennon is a beast in that department. Our drummer, he starts all the music where we go to what direction we're going to do. And we grew up on a lot of those 1980s heavy metal bands like Obituary and Sepultura and Slayer, and on to Panteras and Lamb of God, Machine Head, Suicidal Tendencies, just so many influences, man. And we just love the groove. Anytime I've listened to metal, I want to be able to go like this, no matter how fast they're going, no matter how slow they're going. You want to be able to bob to it and feel it. And I think that's something that we drive home and then add everything around it and create what INCITE is.
I, I hear that in the music, and I can see that in some of your videos as well. And I watched the Bloodstock 2019 stuff, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
I can see obviously you having a great time on stage, and when you have a great time on stage, the audience feeds off that. You've got an
Yes, sir.
awesome group of musicians behind you, absolutely incredible. So
Thank you
so
so
that
much,
obviously
man.
helps. So how did you recruit the band when you start? Was it through friends, contacts, adverts?
A little bit of both. Me and Lennon. Lennon, I'll start with him. He was in a band, and they were on tour actually with INCITE. And me and him, were the weed smokers. So me and him like hit it off right away. We were buddies on this whole tour, and it just kind of grew to where anytime I came to Austin, Texas, or he came to Arizona, we would always hang out and meet up. And I had a tour about 2 weeks away, and my drummer quit on me at the time. He wanted to pursue a different career and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was in the grocery store, man. I called Lennon up. He was the only person I could think of that I knew that was a badass and could do it in that time. And he's like, let me figure it out. I'll let you know tomorrow. And next day, he hops in a truck with his dad, and his dad drives him from Austin, Texas to Arizona, 1,000 miles. And we just he learned everything. And then L, the bass player, he was in a local band in Arizona that was really popular, and we had played with them also, so I knew him. And when our bass player had left, L hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I can help you out with this tour." And it ended up being where I loved him so much that I just kept booking tours so he couldn't quit or leave the band. I like
That's
forced
the
him to
way to do
stay
it.
in.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, it was. And
yeah.
he's here now still with me 11, 12 years later. And um Lane, our newest guy, we had Eli from Holy Grail and Huntress, and he recently, about 2 years ago, left the band to go front the punk band INCITE, which is pretty funny in itself. He's a great singer, but from INCITE to INCITE is so wild. But we have Lane Richardson, who to me is my favorite guitar player I've ever played with. Um, his energy on stage, it and his resilience every night to be the same is something that me, Lennon, and L have strived off of. We never phone it in. We don't ever take a day off or a show. We don't half-ass it. And Lane brings that same intensity. So now it's like 4 people all firing off on each other's energy, and it just creates this insane vibe, man. And you know, I couldn't be happier than I've ever been with this band. It's so cool, and every dude is so chill, down to earth, works their ass off, and wants you know, to do this and be great and be big, you know.
He has great guitar tone as well. I love the guitar sound. It's like, it's full, it's fat, it's in your face, but it cuts through. So it's it's that it fits really nicely on top of the groove you've got going on with the drums and the bass, and it just makes So do you
Lane
play
was he was the piece we were missing. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it just brought it all together finally. And I love playing. You know, I can't play, but I like hammering the drums or, you know, messing with the bass, you know. But as far as like writing like these guys do, no way, man. That ship kind of passed me by until I'm a little older, I bet. You know, I just try to focus on writing lyrics, focusing on song structure and arrangements of the songs, and let those guys be the musicians and write the songs, you know, and I'll just bring in some kick-ass yelling and some vocals.
That's cool, because you just preempted a question here. It was like, so when the songs are coming, they write the music and you formulate that to a melody in your head, or would you have an idea for a lyric and then maybe you'd have a riff in your head and you'd just hum it or yell it to them and say, this is it, this is what I want, kind of thing?
I think that's what's so cool about us, is that we write so many different ways, but ultimately the music starts with Lennon creating a drum beat or a guitar riff, and then, you know, Lane spicing it up and bringing it to the next level. And the way I do vocals usually is, you know, the second one album is done recording, I already start writing lyrics for whatever may be in the future. You know, I want to capture the emotion of the things I feel in that real time and real sense of it. So when I get a song, I either have something in my head that pops out when I hear it, or, you know, I like to read through my lyrics and see if anything just happens to hit it perfect or connect it right. And, you know, I love having different ways to do it and never just having this set way that it has to be, or the way that I've done it. Like, I think you always got to push yourself to feel different and try different emotions when you're creating, especially lyrically. I think, you know, that's the part that's going to resonate with a lot of people in terms of like experiences in life that we may all share, or, you know, whatever it may be.
100%. It's like, so obviously it's a whole band thing, and then you come in and you slam down your lyrical ideas and whatever. So they're kind of born from rehearsal rooms and jam spaces, and then all of a sudden you'll go, oh, I've got an idea, or hang on a minute, here's my book, my diary, and I've got these words, let's see if they fit here, kind of thing.
Yes, and the thing I think that's changed everything about us since our record Up in Hell and Oppression and Built to Destroy and this new one is the man that brings all of what we have and puts it together in the way it's supposed to rock and the way it does rock is our producer, Steve Evans. You know, he has worked with some of the most killer metal bands in all different genres and varieties. And, you know, I've worked with a lot of producers, but this guy, it's just something magical happens when we get with him. And, you know, he feels like a fifth member when we're in there in the writing room and the pre-production room, and, you know, lets us flow and just makes things more tuned and tight, and, you know, make sure we keep what INCITE is together. And I love that. You know, I think that's the key to everything we're doing right now.
Yeah, because he worked, was it the Cure as well? So
yeah,
the good thing about having a producer that's worked multi-genre is their ears are more tuned into things. So what might be really good for the Cure, he might say, oh, I could take this bit here and put that into your groove thrash metal and make it bigger and make it more appealing. Yeah. So like I say, music is it's a universal language. There's no barrier.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, and you can say so much through music and get your message across without having to say sing in Mandarin or Nepalese or
Yeah.
you know, any language. Music is universal. It's like you get
That's
on
one thing,
stage.
that's one thing I feel about like reviews. I wish they would look at songs more like you just said, rather than like dissecting just how the performance is. I think when you listen to a song, you look for, like what you said, the feeling, the emotion, those
Yeah,
things. And, that's what an album does. And if it doesn't create that, then I understand, not the review being different. But yeah, reviewing it more as an aspect of feeling rather than just the tone or whatever the hell you hear.
yeah. I honestly believe music comes from the heart,
Hell yeah.
and if you
True
can get
story.
from the heart to the head and into people's lives, you've done something great. You've done something great, especially if it's a positive thing, because
True.
nobody likes the negatives.
True. And I think that's one thing about our live show that's so appealing is this atmosphere of fun. I love when I look out and I see people smiling. They walk in, they don't care, arms are crossed, and within 2 songs, their biggest smile ever. And it's about this moment of camaraderie between, 1,000 people or whatever it is that are all there for the same reason, to release, to have fun, to forget all the bullshit that's going on in the background of life and all the hard things we deal with. And I think having that 35 minutes of just this incredible, fun, chaotic, energetic, you're feeling it in your chest, and it just creates something different that I think people have been missing in live shows and music for a minute.
Yeah, 100%. It's like everything you do is is an extension of you, but it also can become part of somebody. And somebody going through crisis, whether it's mental health or just a health crisis, and they hear your music, and it makes them positive. It gives them something positive. It
Yep.
that must resonate with you as well, because you're doing a good through something you love.
I
And if you're
strive
making a
on
positive, oh sorry,
I strive on that, man. Like seeing
yeah.
people have a good time or feeling better about themselves or just a smile or whatever, man. It's a great feeling to do that for someone else.
So I'm just gonna say, because about your voice, because obviously it takes punishment on the road. I play in a band, and it's. Do you have a care routine, or do you have a warm up, or do you just go out and do it? Because I read somewhere once, Ronnie James Dio, one of the all time greats, he just used to boom, smoke some weed or drink some booze and go on stage, and he was still great.
Yeah, I did that too. The big thing I try to pay attention to really the most is just not talking when I first wake up. You want to have a couple hours to let your voice just kind of wake itself up. It's like a muscle. You want to get it just into the day, and then I think after that you're pretty good. I had a rough couple days on this tour. I mean, we're on 11 weeks, in a row
Wow.
almost. So it's we're coming up on show 60 out of like 75 days. So it's raw during the day, but when I hit stage, it's just like right back to normal, this natural thing that just occurs. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird.
It's yeah, it's like you say, it's that muscle, it's the muscle memory. All of a sudden, boom, it's time to go to
Yep.
work.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's like
crazy.
setting your alarm clock, you get up and you go and you do your job, and your voice is the same. It's like, well, yeah, we're here now. This is it. I've got to perform, and boom, it's there. So
We can't cancel shows. We don't have that luxury. We never want to anyways. Like, I mean, my drummer right now, 2 days ago, he basically almost broke his foot, and he's up here absolutely smashing the drum kit still. It's insane how much the four of us love this and love what we're doing and just love playing music.
yeah, yeah, you see so many people. It's like Dave Grohl, he broke his leg and he was on stage, sitting in his throne. You know,
I
the
respect
show
that
must
shit,
go on.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it always can. There's always ways to make it work, and I think that's the best thing ever.
exactly. It shows a massive amount of dedication. And like you say, the fans really appreciate that. So, do you have a favorite
Exactly.
vocalist?
I have a few, definitely. I think I would start obviously with like Chino Moreno has been one of my favorites since the Deftones began, and all of his side projects he has are so incredible, like Crosses and Palms. And Team Sleep. And then I think people like Mike Muir of Suicidal
Yeah,
Tendencies
yeah.
is a big thing for me, attributing to like my live show and, you know, how I act on that. And another great one would be Mike Patton for sure. I think seeing the range he creates is really incredible. And, you know, Randy Blythe was really big on me too. I think when I first saw Lamb of God and, you know, saw the video for Ruin and then saw them live, I was floored. I hadn't seen a dude like him, you know, since like 91 Max or 92 Phil Anselmo. I mean, you really hadn't. He took heavy metal and just carried it for, you know, the last 20 years for all of us. And he's just a showmanship, and he's old now and he's still flying all over the place, man.
Oh,
It's just,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love Lamb of
it's
God.
awesome.
They're one of my favorite bands. And I remember
Yeah.
reading an interview. He said he's quite lucky because he can really push his voice every night. And he just seems to be, it doesn't seem to affect it. And he just has this natural, wow, ability about it. And he just goes out and he does it. And like you say, I mean, I'm in my 50s and, you know, he must be late 40s, early 50s. I really don't, but he's doing
Definitely,
it
he's
every
up there
night.
like that. Yeah, and he's jumping all off of things and the whole nine, man. It's great to see somebody like that just loves what he's doing, you know.
Yeah. Like you mentioned Mike Muir before, and yeah, I saw Suicidal Tendencies back in the day, years ago, with
Hell
Testament
yeah.
and Slayer on the big four, and it was like, man, and he's still doing it. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Did
When he
nobody tell him?
runs across the whole stage
Yeah.
nonstop, and you know, he's rocking. It's something so special to see that kind of energy out of somebody, you know. Again, you know, each of those people have such good attributes of who they are and what they do, you know, and I think that's why they've definitely impacted me a lot.
Absolutely, and long may it continue. Are there any young bands out there that you would say, you know, that you
Oh,
listen to?
definitely. I love a band out of man, they're somewhere in California, but they're called Glass Stab. They're absolutely fucking killer. And then I think you have bands like, you know, 200 Stab Wounds, Undeath, you know, Saint Breaker, also out of Arizona. They're ripping it up, and it's a great time for heavy metal, man. And you know, Gate Creepers coming out there swinging, and it's like it hasn't felt like this since like the 80s or 90s, man, like really, where there's so much happening and these shows are so wild again with the stage diving and the circle pit, and everybody wants a shirt, everybody's wearing the shirts. It's just like it's rad right now, man. I'm really happy to be like kind of like the older guys in the group. It's fun, you know.
It's like I think the metal scene worldwide is great. I mean, the Philippines, they have a massive underground metal scene. Nepal, India.
Yes.
Um,
We went to South America, man, and that was one of the craziest things I've ever been a part of in my life. I mean, they go absolutely batshit crazy from the moment you start to the moment you end. They're at the hotel, they're at the
yeah.
airport, they want 20 pictures and things signed. It's just so cool. You feel like the Beatles for like a week, you know?
So that's cool, and as long as you never lose that, you know, I hear people like Ronnie Dio back in the day, and Kerry King apparently was another one. He was always saying, "No, I'm going to meet them. I'm going to meet all of them." And
Oh yeah.
as long as
We we
people,
we do we do free meet and greets every night at the merch booth, man. We don't fucking ever fuck around with that shit. It's like that's whack, man. It's metalheads. We're all together in the same thing, and we just love it. And I think if you do that, all the other things will just fall in the line, man. When people feel your vibe up close, you know. And those guys are legends for what they did with the metalheads, man.
exactly, and you're on your way to becoming them legendary
Oh,
bands. So, like I say,
appreciate
I
that.
can't sing your praises enough because when somebody put me onto you, I was like, wow. So
Thank you
obviously,
so much, man. Really.
you're kind of found. You said that with the latest album, Wake Up Dead, you're finding your niche. Do you
Yes.
think? Obviously, the World Wide Web, the internet as we know it, it's a great place for your music. But once it's out there, somebody will put it up there for free. So a lot of back in the day when I was growing up, bands used to make their money from the albums, and the tours were to sell the albums. And it seems like it's reversed. Would you agree with that? You have
Oh
to
yeah, but
tour.
for us, it's always been we tour and we sell the records there. You know, people now to me when they buy it, they want it signed, they want to have a picture and
Yeah.
feel something more that goes into that music and that CD. And you know, we actually that's something that helps us is selling CDs. We sell 30 a night, 25 a night out on tour, and we probably don't sell that much in the whole world in a normal day. So it's the live show is always going to be what metal wins people and metalheads over, is performing live. Definitely.
100%. Okay. Yeah, I think the live performance, getting it, rehearsing it, and recording it, it's all fun. But
Hell
getting
yeah.
out there and like you said before, them smiles on people's faces and when they start bouncing around and it's like, and you've got them that you say, jump, show me your horns, do this. And it's like the feeling is,
It's
it must be
it's
incredible
amazing.
for you. And the whole band obviously feeds off that as well. So
Definitely.
it,
Definitely.
so, obviously you tour quite heavily. You said you got 70 dates. You on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one. And
Yeah, this is cool, man. And we're starting to pick it back up. Before the pandemic, we were doing about 150 shows a year. And now finally, the last 2 years we've been getting the gears running again and first time back to the UK and Europe in 3 years. So it feels really good finally to be going again hard.
yeah,
Excuse me.
because that pandemic, it did a lot of harm to the music industry, to venues, to bands, because obviously we're all sitting. I saw your video. It did Beatles. I can't remember what it's called. It'll come back
Yep.
to me in a minute. And obviously you're on the
No, that was
sofa
right.
there.
Deadbeat. That was the one.
Yeah, and
Yep.
obviously, yeah. There's the guy. You're all in your rooms and you're all looking bored, but you're all doing something, and it's yeah. So
That was in the heart of the pandemic. We did that.
yeah,
There was no other way to do a video, and we had to because our record was getting made. And the thing, it was like the pandemic happened, and we were, you're worried about your career and these things. But what now, looking back at it and where we are now, what the pandemic did was put every single band on a fair plane in
yeah,
terms of live show, in terms of everything you did. Now if you try to go up there and half-ass your show or have all backing tracks or don't play or just don't give a shit, people don't take that anymore like they used to. Now, it's about kicking ass, saying what's up to the metalheads, hanging out, putting out good music and
yeah,
bringing it every night. People don't take that bullshit. They spend money, they work hard, they take time out of their day to go there to do this concert and be a part of it. So I like where it's brought to, a lot of the bands that were just so entrenched and had control just don't now like they did
yeah.
before. And that's a great sign to see that you can just put a tour together, go out on tour and hit the road wherever you want. And, people are going to come and, respect that you're kicking ass.
Because they want the real deal now. Because if you want to sit
Yeah.
at home and listen to a tape or a track, sit at home. But when you go to a gig, I used to love going to gigs and the live albums that come from someone. I like if you're doing a live album, I like to hear the mistakes. I like to hear the bum notes. Sometimes, as a vocalist, you might forget a lyric. Like a
Oh yeah.
mind fart, and you go,
Oh yeah.
but people love it because it shows that it's live, it's real.
Oh
It's
yeah.
real. The
Oh yeah.
studio is about perfection. Live
Yep.
is about entertaining and putting the feel that, like, going back to it again from the heart. Everything you put into it, it's about putting out there live. If you don't want to play live, just put a film out. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We made a shirt for this tour and it says, no gimmicks, no backing tracks, no triggers, just metal. And that's how we felt since the beginning of this band. We're 100% real. We do everything. We load our own gear. We have no crew. We've never had a crew. We drive our own van. We do everything, and it's cool to do all that and create this music business and people falling into that that feeling that we're bringing out there, and it's cool, man. I'm hyped for what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And going back, you were saying about T-shirts. You were saying backing tracks. Nobody likes them. Well, some people might like them. As a real music fan, live music, I personally think do it. If you can't do it live, don't bother. Um, but the T-shirt thing. How do you feel about some venues? I don't know if you're experiencing this. Some venues are like snatching, grabbing some of the. They're saying you've got to give us a percentage. When
Oh yeah.
you're playing their venue, they've made their money from the ticket sales. The people that are pulling in to see you, they're buying their beer and their drinks and whatever. How do you feel? Are you suffering from that, or?
You know, we definitely have that. You know, anytime you're on a tour of any size, especially in America, that's a huge thing, man. And they definitely do that. Um, you know, we just try to navigate it, man. We try to, you know, lie about our numbers. Whatever you have to do as a starting band, you know, every dollar literally counts, you know,
Yeah,
and these venues, they have 50 different genres of music they play at their shows, and they're always having things to make money, unlike a touring underground heavy metal band. You know, it's such a different aspect of what's going on in that system. It's insane. And I think it's great that bands are finally, you know, speaking up or fighting back, because, you know, I've been selling merch as a merch guy also
mm,
as my other job for 15 years now. And, you know, I've dealt with assholes that want to count everything. They want to
yeah.
watch you. They want to, you know, just hound you all day, and while you're just trying to make money for this band to live, you know, and continue on doing what they're doing. So we know everybody's got to make money, but you know, it comes to where how much can you fuck a band? I mean, you pay, you know, 15% to a manager, 10% to an agent, then you have taxes, then you have the actual expenses of that tour, then you have some people that want to take a merch cut at your concert, you know. So then there's four guys that
Yeah,
have to make a little bit of money, but then if you do have a crew and, you know, all the other things,
you've
it's
got to pay
insane,
everyone. Yeah,
man. I've been very lucky to learn you know, the business and how to, my band is very down for doing it yourself type of stuff, so we're able to make money and do this. But you know, you're definitely not you know, getting away from a merch cut right now. It sucks.
yeah. Because a lot of bands, and obviously I play in a band as well. You pay for your own merch. You pay for it
Yep.
to be your t-shirts, to be your stickers, your patches. So, you know, if you're paying for that out of your band to make your band a bit of money on the road to pay people and to eat and fee, you know, and
Oh
obviously on
yeah.
your days off, you and then you've got this venue going, oh, man, we've already made the money from the ticket sales from you. We're going to get beer sales from you. But now
Yep.
you know what? We're gonna take a bit more out of your t-shirts, which you paid for, not us.
And
I think it's disgusting.
sometimes they'll take $20 from you. Like that's so insane to me. Like, you know, that they go to the smaller bands and take their $18 or their $30. It's like it doesn't make sense, because that does nothing for that club. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Some guy's just putting that in his pocket. He's keeping it, not telling anybody is why that's what it is, you know. But I think just like anything, when musicians stand up together, we can create change, you know, along
Yeah,
with the metalheads and the people that
100%.
attend concerts, you know. So I think it'll change in time, and you know, you just got to keep fighting and keep going forward with things.
Maybe one day, bands will have their crew going around with a t-shirt with a QR code on the back, and fans will scan it, boom, straight to your store, and you get your souvenir. It's
That's
not the
not a bad
same as
idea.
I used to love going to gigs, and I used to love it. You go to the gig and you buy a shirt, you put the shirt on, and then you go home. You all through the shirt, and then you go home the next day.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
oh, I've got
It's part of the
running out of
experience,
time.
you know. It's part of the experience.
It is definitely, but so yeah, that whole thing again. So I just had something come up on my screen saying running out of time, but yeah, so. And how is it? How's the tour going in Europe? I mean, I've read the reviews, and you're getting some fantastic reviews
It's
yourself.
been
Inside,
insane.
yeah,
Insane. I mean, London was one of the craziest shows I've ever played. I mean, it's in my top five list without question. It was absolute madness. And, you know, all these German shows and the Scandinavian dates, everything's just been so next level. I mean, you can tell the band. You know, we're freaking at the same time. We're feeling like just like fucking about damn time it's happening. What we believed could always be possible, you know. And I think it's such a cool tour, and the American tour of this was insane too. So like ending this year on this note, and then, you know, going to write the next record and be in the studio come around like February, you know, I think we're going to go in there with some serious momentum, and next year is going to be really, really massive for us in this band.
I look forward to hearing that because, like I say, I'm late getting into music. I'm sorry for that. I should have been into it earlier because I'm a music fan. But
better late than never.
Oh, definitely, 100%. And I will be telling all my friends, you've got to listen to this band. It's like, wow. So
thank you, man.
Well, here's a bit of a tricky one. What's your favorite show so far on the European track?
London for sure. You know,
yeah.
that it was just something so special. I mean, the crowd was loud, the energy was so insane. You were just getting goosebumps on stage, you know, and getting a stage dive and jump off the cool things, and playing that venue. It's so beautiful and legendary, and so many people played that. It just I couldn't have dreamt of a better night. That was just, it was everything you want in a concert, you know, and the vibe, the feel, the atmosphere. It was truly special.
Excellent. Because obviously I come from South London, but you know, it's all of London's great. It's a fantastic city. It's got everything you could ever want.
It's such a metal town, man. You know, I've done some of my best shows there ever, and it's always crazy, and they always give love to everybody, no matter what the band or where you come from. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah, like I say, I love being in London, and there's so many venues. You got, if you guys ever come back, which hopefully you will. I don't know what size venue you'll be playing, but the Underworld is a great venue to play. Obviously, you've got the Forum, you've got Hammersmith, you've got Shepherd's Bush Empire, as you know, and they're all great venues. It's the Underworld is in the heart of Camden, which is phenomenal in itself. So
I love it.
It's
I'm shooting for the Brixton Academy though. That's
Brixton Academy is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah.
I'd like to do Bloodstock again, and I wouldn't mind coming to download and bringing some metal to that shit.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. But I've seen some great shows. I've seen Slayer, White Zombie, Ozzy, oh god, Machine Head.
The last Sepultura show. That's the only time. It's the only time I ever went there was the last show they ever did, and it was I'll never forget that place, the environment, the feeling. I want to definitely rock that place one day.
Oh yeah, and you will indeed, because it's like I say, it's a fantastic venue. So I'm just gonna change a bit, because obviously we are horror metal sounds. Do you like horror movies?
Oh, I love them. You know, I definitely I grew up watching everything. You know, the early stuff from Slaughterhouse to Freddy's to Jason's, and I grew up on that stuff for sure, and I definitely love all of it.
So, what's your favorite? Do you like the slasher? Do you like the monster, or do you like the human psych things like Hostel and Saw, and where they play on your mind? The first Alien, it plays on your mind. You know it's there, and you know it's coming, but you don't know when.
I do like a vibe of that, because my favorite horror movie like ever is probably Event Horizon, which kind of has that sci-fi demonic kind of feel to it. That's more up my alley, kind of mystery into this crazy ending, you know. But I love literally all of them. I like I said, I grew up on all of that, and our parents always had that stuff on TV, so it was something fun to watch, entertaining to me.
Yeah. It's like horror. I love horror. I love comedy. So I love it all. So you've got a favorite horror actor?
Yeah, it would be Event Horizon for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's the film. Yeah. So
yeah, unbelievable. Lawrence Fishburne, and really crazy space movie. Yeah,
it's absolutely cool. So, it says here I'm running out of time on the air on this. So, do you have a guilty secret, like your music? Would you like say, for instance,
I
Oklahoma.
I listen to everything except like country. You know,
Yeah,
I don't vibe with that, but I listen to absolutely everything from reggae to Rihanna to Metallica. You know, I love everything. I'm so open to music. Everything has a certain vibe or a feeling to it that, you know, catches an emotion. So if I'm sad that day or depressed or happy, you know, every music has a good thing. So I think, you know, I don't feel guilty about it because I think more people should listen to a lot of stuff, and it'll, you know, just open up your mind and have a different feel on things.
I agree with you. It's like having a healthy diet. Having a
Yep,
healthy musical diet creates better music because you take the
exactly.
best or what you believe to be the best from each genre and you make it your own, and then boom, it's out
Oh
there.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
oh yeah,
yeah, 100%. So
I love it.
it, is there anything you want to say to the all your fans out there and the horror metal sounds fanzine?
Hell yeah. I just want to thank all the metalheads out there for all the support, everything, you know, all the kind words, the cool respect that we've been growing and creating between us. It's super special. And I want to thank you especially for taking time out of your day to do this, to talk music. I absolutely love that, man. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Obviously, you're very busy on tour. Thank you for taking a break with your vocal regime so you can speak to us. Much
You're good, man.
appreciated. And next time you're in the UK, I'll contact your manager and hopefully we can meet and have a face-to-face chat.
Yes, that'd be
Uh,
super cool, man. Thank
and
you so much.
I'll show you around London. I'll
Yes,
show
let's
you the
do it.
best sites and the best
Thanks,
places to
Mike.
eat and drink beer.
Yes. Yes.